Robot Trains is a South Korean kids show which ran from 2017 to 2021. The show was something I really liked, and it is kind of like Super Wings and Chuggington, which were also shows that I watched whenever I was a younger child. This is kind of like a deep dive into the show and the plot, so if you actually want to watch it and it's something you care about, you can watch it for free on YouTube on the Robot Trains official channel, and you can also watch it for free on the Roku channel. But if not, I'm just going to get right into talking about the plot. The first episode starts off very dramatic because Kay is the main character, and according to literally every single train, as it is said multiple times, he is the only train who can build railroads. He can, use his energy, basically, to build new railroad tracks. And Kay is trying to build a railroad to this new world, accompanied by this person called Duke. But, in a shocking plot twist, Duke turns on him and says he wants Kay's engine for himself because his engine is the most powerful engine. Duke and Kay have this huge fight, and Duke loses, but Kay uses too much of his energy and ends up having, I believe it is a full system reset and loses all of his memories. The next few episodes aren't nearly as exciting as the first one. It was definitely kind of like a bait and switch sort of thing. But since Kay has lost all of his memories, he has to learn everything again. So Kay is learning everything along with the audience, and it makes the exposition and everything happening feel more natural. The next episode that would be kind of important to the plot would be Runaway Virus Train. There is basically just a virus going around that's infecting all the trains, and Kay and Duck have to stop it. This is needed because later down the line in the show, a virus infecting a train is a very important plot point. Another episode that should not be skipped is Here Comes Alf. He is one of Kay's old friends who lives in the mountain area of the train world. There is a doorway leading to the mountain area of the train world, but it gets closed off whenever Kay has this big fight with Duke, because it takes energy to keep the doors open, and since a lot of the energy is lost, that means that some of the doors close, and the one leading to the mountain world was one of them. Alf's character is further explored in Alf Opens Up. He is training very hard for some reason, and Kay follows after him, only to find out that through their conversation, Alf blames himself for Kay losing all of his memories, saying that if I had just been there and been stronger like Duke, I could have gone with you to open the new portal to the new world, and none of this would have happened. Kay says he doesn't blame Alf, and they go riding down the mountain together. The episode before Alf Opens Up, though, is also good to watch because it's called Sally's Special Training, and it just sets up this plot device used later in the show. Sally, the inventor of the group, makes this device so that while Kay is in his dreams, he can also train. In the episode Uninvited Guest, while Kay is in this simulation along with Duck and Alf, Duke shows up. He starts attacking Alf, Duck, and Kay, but all of them think that it is part of the simulation. Sally later reveals that it was not, and there was something wrong with the system. A few episodes later, there's the episode The Festival. It really isn't too important until the very, very end. The festival is just it follows a race, and there's Alf, Kay, and Duck who are racing, and the job is to get other trains' cargo and race back to the town square, and whoever has the most cargo wins, but it is also used to get more energy to the train world, with them racing around everywhere. It causes this huge wave of energy, and that wakes up Duke. The next episode, Duke Awakens, starts with a train called Jeffrey coming down to Duke's place to check on Duke to see if he is still asleep. It seems that Duke attacks him, and he comes out to see Sally, Duck, Kay, and Alf. There was an earthquake going on which was caused by him, and they were all evacuating the train, so they are the only ones left. There is a fight between them that goes on for a few episodes, and then there's the episode Victor Arrives. He saves Kay and his friends. He was also an old friend of Kay's. The next few episodes follow him and this woman named Stella. This is where the lore of robot trains gets kind of insane. Stella tells the story of the Alpha train, which was this train with the strongest engine ever, and he would soar amongst the stars, going to new worlds and connecting them bit by bit. But one day, I think he became too powerful or something. I'm not exactly sure. It was a bit confusing, honestly. And his engine just explodes and it goes to all different parts of the train world. But there is no time for that because now they find out that a virus infected Duke and caused him to act this way. Sally uses her technology to get Kay, Alf, and Duck into Duke's mind so they can cure him of the virus. They succeed and Duke is A-okay now, but the trains are still scared of him, so of course Kay helps Duke and tries to get the trains to see that he's not evil anymore. Then there's this insanely crazy episode where Kay also becomes way too powerful and fast that he starts just moving so fast that it looks like everybody else is moving in slow motion. This was foreshadowed in the last episode with Duke's making a comment to one of the other trains about how fast Kay was. But anyway, Kay ends up opening a wormhole to a whole other dimension where he is like Duke and he killed Duke. And Duck, the funny comic relief character, is now in charge. But the real Kay convinces him that what happened and Duck lets him go. He and Duke work things out and Kay is like, I'm going to start listening to you now, Duke, because you clearly know what you are talking about. A few episodes later, in the episode All for One and One for All, Victor was hurt in the past episode called Victor is in Danger, and while Sally is helping repair him, Alf and Duke find something in the ice. As it turns out, it is part of the Alpha Train's engine, which is very important in later episodes. I know I keep saying that, but there is a lot of stuff in this show that comes back later in future episodes, which that's good to set up things in past episodes that are used in future ones. The next few episodes are very important because suddenly the trains of the train world are saying to Kay and all his friends that they were attacked by Duke. And Duke is like, I didn't do this, I don't know what's going on. But because he wants everybody to feel safe, he decides to lock himself away again. Kay tries to convince him not to, but Duke is firm in his decision and will not leave. Suddenly, the virus that he had starts to duplicate, and apparently his duplicates were the one that started attacking people. Kay and his friends get all sorts of calls from all the other trains saying that they were all attacked by Duke, and they realize what is happening since there's no possible way Duke could be in so many different places at once. They defeat Duke's duplicates by using the Alpha Train's cargo, they win, the day is saved, and now the show starts back right where it began. Kay and Duke are going to the new world, and that is the end of Season 1. Overall, it was really good. There were definitely some things that were a bit confusing, and there were definitely times I was laughing at the show, and not with it, but I still had a fun time rewatching it all these years later. And I would like to talk about the animation and the voice acting and all of that. I think the animation was fairly good for the most part. There were definitely some animation errors here and there, but for the most part, like I said, it was very good. Also, I just want to point out that, the animators put so much attention and detail on the trains, but on the backgrounds, there's, hardly any detail at all. And I can relate to that, so I guess I can't really complain about it much. I have the same exact problem with most of my drawings. The English dubs did a great job voice acting. And it's actually kind of funny, my favorite characters are Duke and Alf, and they are played by the exact same person. The music for the show was really good too. I would advise you to go listen to the theme song. I can't play it for copyright reasons, but do give it a watch. It is very good. With how great and fun the first season was, I was super excited to hear that there was a second season. So I turned the TV on and this is what I saw. Well, that's a little weird. Kay doesn't look the same. Wait a minute, who are you? Who's this old guy? Who is this annoying toddler who talks in the third person? What? What are these little freaks? No, what have they done to my boy Duke? The second season is nothing like the first season. It feels as if it has been cocoa melonized. The show was kind of dumbed down for kids. It wasn't quite like it was before. It was super oversaturated. There were bald humans called railers put in the show. I don't know why they're there. There's something about like energy balls that keep the train world working or something. That's how it is now. Jeffrey was replaced by that old guy who was playing chess, and now there's Jeannie, who, she isn't actually that bad, but I don't like her more than Sally, and Sally was kind of like undermined in the show, and so was Duck. He was replaced by Maxie, who was the toddler who speaks in the third person. I don't really know why they replaced those two. There was nothing wrong with their characters. I'm not exactly sure what was wrong. I don't know if they weren't as popular and they just decided to switch them out for new characters. I didn't mind Sally and Duck. Their characters were fine. And then there is Duke. They treat him like he was a villain in the last season because he wanted to be a villain. Not because there was something wrong with him and the virus took over him. And in this clip right here that I'm about to show you, it just confused me so much whenever I watched the second season. I did not understand why Duke was suddenly a villain, for real.
Hey, Duke! You? Here? How? You're up to no good again, aren't you?
It feels like they just completely reset the show and were like, no, the first season is not canon. This is how it is now. I try to find out what happened to the writing, but I can't seem to find anything that says why the writers did this, so if anybody knows or has an idea, I would love to hear about it in the comments. I do have my own theory that it kind of got like the Owl House treatment and that the show wasn't reaching its target demographic, but instead of canceling the show, they just decided to reset the whole thing. But yeah, that's the story of Robot Trains. It started off good, and the second season just flopped. I have heard stuff about a third season, and I'm not sure if it's out yet, but I know I'm not going to watch it because just of the second season, I couldn't get through it. I do hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.